How are you doing? I got Eddie here.
What's happening, people?
He's gonna show us some cool stuff. Can you guys see all these goodies? Look at all these goodies. Some hand tools. God, that's an ugly mug, Pankova says.
Pankova? My buddy? He would never, ever say anything like that.
Oh, Grain Farm.
What's up,
He's
buddy?
on.
Xenia, Illinois, representing.
Yeah, I wonder why you're on tonight. Is there a particular thing you're here for, Cole? Anything here? Where's the power cord? I don't know. I can't find the power cord for it.
It's attached to the phone to do the live.
No, that's true. It's charging the phone.
He's got 2 power cords, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Eddie's nice. You're getting some love on there. Why don't you go read those for a minute?
I don't know how to read.
You're getting some love out there.
Aw, Luke. Eddie's a jerk and I hate him. Okay, that sounds about right. Special guy. I'm not very special. Franco knows. Hey, a few from Cleveland, Franco. Ron, what's happening? Hey, Alma. Yeah, I got dressed up. I had a meeting today, I told you that, but I still wore jeans. Casey, Keith. Oh my God, the whole gang is here. I feel good.
Don't worry, I can get him dressed up real fast. One of these.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I'm asking him because I can't even read the TV from here.
A little better.
TV, the phone. Josh and I had talked on, I think after his last live or just before it, he had asked if I'd come by, bring some power tools. I brought the power tools again, and I brought the hand tools with, because he doesn't have a lot of experience sharpening, and neither do I, but I have a little bit. I've made some mistakes, so maybe I can help people not make those same mistakes. So if anybody has any questions, we can go over some stuff, and if they don't, I'll just talk, and Josh will talk and look good. Man, he looks good back there, doesn't he?
You can watch me learn. That's what's going to happen. If no one else learns anything, I'm going to, right here.
Dad jokes. Okay, so, like I said, I'm a novice at this too. I haven't been woodworking for not even a year yet. Kind of got into it because my wife wanted nice furniture and I didn't want to spend the money on the furniture, so I'm notoriously cheap, and now I'm doing this. Which is also why I buy antique planes versus brand new Lie-Nielsen planes and Veritas, things like that. I have budget chisels as in the Narex. They're good budget chisels, but they're still budget. But they are good. You know, you flatten them, you sharpen them, you hone them, and they cut. I mean, same as the Irwins and stuff. You know, if you spend the right amount of time on them, you can get anything to cut right. So, what I do, as an example, I'm not going to go through sharpening an entire blade because we'll be here for quite a while, but I can give you guys basically the blanket concept is you'll take a blade, this one's actually not bad. This is from an antique Craftsman. I think they're made by Miller Falls, the Craftsman are, but I didn't do my research on it. But a blade that looks pretty rough, it's not flat in the back. You don't have a good bevel on it. There's no micro bevel. I sharpened this one by hand, and I did that after watching Mr. Paul Sellers do a video on YouTube where he sets up his diamond stone and he tells you if you just hold it and if you stand this far away from it at this angle, you can take this blade and the natural movement of your hands is going to give you that 25-degree surface. I don't have that kind of hand control or that experience to be able to do that. So I bought, initially the first thing I bought for a honing guide was this Veritas that I really do not like. Don't go out and waste your money on something that costs $50 that you're not going to like. Spend the $12 and get something that you love, okay? And I learned that just by buying the expensive stuff.
So what's the difference? Why did you not like this one, and why did you like that one?
So I don't like this one because if you look at it, there's nothing on the machine that will keep that blade straight, right? So you can put it in there sideways, crooked, you know, too far in, too far out.
So you're not going to get a true...
Yeah, it's not going to sharpen it straight. Yeah. So if you don't sharpen it straight, you're not going to shave straight. So if you want, and you have really good eyes or really good square, and you want to keep on checking it over and over and over again, buy that one. The one thing that came with this that I do enjoy is this gauge that tells you what angle you're at. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but it gives you between 15 and 35 or so degrees. And I'll show you how to use that at some point here too. But if you have something like that, you have a honing guide, and you have a good stone and some water, you're going to get your stuff sharp.
So this one has the guides to keep it straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep, I don't know if you guys can see that, that keeps the blade true. When you're sharpening it, you're not going to get an offset or anything. Oil or water?
Oil, the only thing you're going to put oil on is an oil stone. You can't find them too often anymore. Your grandpa probably used them.
Yeah.
So you use water stones or a diamond stone. Now they have Chapman stones, which are ceramic or glass. They're a little bit pricier, and you still have to dress them. I was up in the air about those, but considering the cost of them, I decided not to go that route, and I got a diamond. I like the water stones, I really do. I like the diamond stone because it removes material fast. So I was telling Josh before we started here that I sharpened this plane for him. This is his birthday gift, by the way. The
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, this is the one I posted the other day. It's the pre-World War I hybrid with a blade from 1992. But I took this guy and did some work to it, ended up sharpening it up, and this blade was in really, really bad shape as it sat in storage for about 10 years from the guy I got it from. But it went from looking not even half as good as that antique Craftsman to, in about a half an hour, having a mirror finish. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. And I got that by using a newer method that I figured out by watching different videos and taking different people's advice and going with the diamond and the water.
I don't know if you guys can see the difference. It's a pretty big difference there.
So I mean, I would take 2 hours on a water stone doing it because I didn't know any better. I didn't want to spend any more money on anything else, and then I finally buckled out recently and got the diamond. I got a fine stone versus a coarse stone on accident, but it still works very good. It doesn't remove material as fast, but a lot better than just a water stone starting at say 800. So I have what I have here is a 600 grit diamond stone, and this cuts into the blade so fast that you're going to get rid of a lot of the ugly steel when you use this one. And all you do with this is just spray a little bit of water on it. You don't soak it. So the water is going to keep everything cool and keep it lubricated. And you're going to remove a lot of material off your blade using this one. That starts at the 6,000. If I'm anybody else that's going to invest in this stuff, I'm probably going to get something more along the lines of a 325, which is what I meant to order the first time. It's going to do the same thing, it's just going to do it faster. So what I ended up doing is I take my, whether it's my chisel or my planer blade, I'll throw one of them in this jig. Let me use this one here. So the good thing about this one is it's got a slot down here for the chisels and up here for the planer. So no matter what the size of the blade that you're putting through there, it's going to hold it tight and it's not going to move back and forth.
So where did you find this at so other people can find something like this?
I went on Amazon and I Googled honing guide.
So it looks like that, and it sounds pretty good if it can do your blades and your chisels as well.
$12.
And he likes it, and that's hard to do.
I don't like anything. Over 50. It doesn't keep anything straight. You can rebuild it, you can order individual parts for it, but I'm not going to use it anymore, so it's not going to go bad, so I don't have to order anything.
It's also for sale if you want to buy it.
It is for sale. Since it's used, it's $48. So you just tighten this thing down, right? It holds it straight, that's all you got to do. But, like I said, the other portion of that Veritas system is that you can use that guide there, and it's going to give you your angle. Got to put it in here the right way, too. It was right the first time. But right now it's set at 25, and so you're going to lay this here, you're going to look in the light, you're going to see that angle's way off. If you guys can see that far away.
See the light through
here? Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Okay. Well, I'll just loosen this thing here, right? This knot here, it's going to bring it back. You take two hands, you're kind of fancy. That easily it gets set at 25. You hold it tight, and you tighten it down, and there you have your angle. It's that simple. I love it. You take a screwdriver and tighten that down so it doesn't come loose while you're using it. Wet your stone, move it back and forth, and that's what you're doing. You're removing the material on it. So what you're going to use the heavier core stone for is to remove a lot of material, give you your initial bevel. Once you get to the point where it's nice and flat, nice and straight, you're going to take this guy, set it to the side, and you're going to take a water stone. This one here, I believe it's an 800 4000. So you know, you count up. So you start at 600, you're not going to go to 4,000 right away because you have a lot more material you have to remove.
Incrementally step up.
Yeah, so you'll step up to an 800, right? So you do the same exact thing. Now this is a water stone. Once you buy one of these, if you go with this one, the instructions are going to tell you that you have to soak it for about 10 minutes before you use it. You do. If you don't, you're not going to build any slurry. It's going to get warmer, it's going to warp, you're not going to want to use it the way you're going to use it. I did. I have some blades that I already messed up that I have to correct, but that was part of my learning process. But yeah, you soak it for 10 minutes, and as long as it's flat, it's going to sharpen it beautifully. So after I did Josh's here, I spent, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes on this stone, got a really nice bevel, got it nice and flat, cleaned it up to where it looked really acceptable. Then I moved on to the 800. Did the same exact thing, didn't take it out of the guide, just same exact back and forth. You can tell because the blade goes from being kind of polished, kind of dull finish on it, and then as you get back and forth some more, it's going to have the same finish all the way across. Once you do that, you'll move on to something like a 1000. Same process. Okay, so after that, the white one here is a 4000, same as this guy here is a 4000. After you hit the 800, then the 1000, you move on to the 4000. That's as high as I go. It gives you pretty much that sharpness. After you get finished sharpening and you want it to shine like a mirror, if you do it right, you're going to take some honing compound on a store-bought strobe. This is nothing like Pankova's strobe, by the way. This thing was like $10 at Woodcraft. You know, it works just the same.
Did you raise his grain with that? Is that
I raised his grain.
He raised his grain. If you
He
guys
raised-
aren't,
and then he raised mine.
if you guys aren't following the Raise Your Grain campaign, find that Instagram account. Jump on that. It's a pretty cool movement that's going on right now. Raise Your Grain.
It's pretty awesome. It was crafted by Engineer and Ebony and Bursch, two great guys. You know, if you're not following them, I'm assuming you are. You should. They do good stuff. But so I got done sharpening this. I put some rubbing compound on the hone. You're gonna take it out of your jig, and then all you do is you move it against, blade bevel down on the honing stone with the compound and pull it towards you a few times. Then you get that mirror finish. Just because it shines like a mirror doesn't mean it's going to be sharp, right? So I can take a plane blade or a chisel that's got, it's gone to maybe the 600 grit, and I can hone it and it's going to make it shiny. Doesn't mean it's sharp. So you got to go through the steps to actually get it where it needs to be. That's my process. Like I said, I would show you guys, but we don't want to run into, between asking questions and whatever else, it's going to run into a very long video. And I got a bit of a drive home. So that's my process. Anybody has any questions on that, you can DM me. Again, I may not have the answers because I'm new at this too, but going through a few different processes, whether it was at the beginning using sandpaper, to using a $10 stone I bought at Ace Hardware that I didn't bring with me, to using a diamond stone that I bought at Harbor Freight, to finally realizing I got to invest a few bucks in this. It's the process that I learned over the last few months. And it's helped me quite a bit. As you know, I'm doing more hand tool works. Barely turn on my power tools at all. They're not for sale. I'm still going to use them. I got stuff my wife needs me to build, so I got to use them still too. But whether it's a plane blade or a chisel, that's your process to sharpen them. The one thing I didn't mention at the beginning is before you start your sharpening process, is you got to make sure the back of that blade is flat. That's a boring process. It seems like a stupid process, but if it's not flat, you're not going to get a sharp edge on it. You're going to think you are, and it's not going to work the way it's supposed to work. I sent Pankova some of my Irwin chisels, and I never flattened them until a few days before I sent them to them, and it took me the good portion of a day to actually get those things somewhat flat. Again, they're an economy chisel. They work really, really good when you put them to the correct specs. They're not a Veritas, they're not a Lee Nielsen, but I also don't have $1,000 to spend on a set of chisels.
These are the marbles. Marbles.
They're Irwin marbles, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Matt has now. The Narex too. I mean, they're a budget chisel, but they're a lot better. Luke can tell you. We had a current little Norse Luke, my little buddy there. we had a conversation the other day where he's not impressed with them, and you know, they are a budget chisels. They're not going to cut like a Sweetheart. They're not going to cut like a Veritas. They're not going to cut like a 100-year-old Stanley. But they're a lot better than the stuff you're going to buy at Sears. You know, I see Craftsman on it. I don't buy it anymore. I'm kind of picky with my tools nowadays. I got tired of buying cheap stuff and trying to make it good, or trying to make good stuff with cheap stuff. It just doesn't work that way.
Bad set of chisels somewhere that I don't use because they're bad. So this would be something I'd probably want to look into getting, is a set of economy chisels just to get started with.
I mean, you're still going to spend $60-$70 on a set of economy chisels,
Yeah.
but you're not going to spend the, like I said, $600-$800 on them.
Yeah.
And until any of us are good enough to actually use these consistently, no, Luke, you're still not. Don't spend that kind of money on it. But you know, you can do the same stuff with cheaper stuff. You know, you got to pay attention. You got to practice more, and it'll get you where you got to be. I brought my little mallet here that Josh just found on the table. I made that. That was my first mallet, only mallet I've made. I use it all the time. Every time I use these chisels, I use that mallet. And it still looks like it did the day I made it. Bloodwood takes a beating and just keeps on going.
Do you strike these?
Yeah, I
No
hit
problems?
those. No, not my thumbs. The 1-inch Narix that I have, the mallet's so good, it pretty much destroyed the end of that thing. I gotta figure out a different way, but again, it wasn't sharp enough when I started using it. Other than that, I mean, that's how I sharpen my stuff. Again, if you have any questions that I can answer, you can send me a message.
Where's my mallet? It says Alma.
Alma, I started on your mallet like 6 months ago, and then I stopped on your mallet like 6 months and 1 day ago. Opposite. It looks just like, well, it looks like, Alma, your mallet looks like that right now. If you see this and this, it looks like that. That's how far I got. I glued 3 pieces of wood together. I haven't forgotten it though. It's on a list of projects I've started and have to complete. Other than that, I brought a few things that I use to do dovetails, whether it's marking it out. I didn't bring any of my saws except for the coping saw that I picked up from Woodcraft. It's not, like Luke, I forget what the one that Luke has. It's a really beautiful saw. This one works just fine for me. I'm not a hand tool master.
Yeah, I got, I bought a Menards special coping saw.
I can tell you for certain that thing is horrible because I had the same one. I
Yeah.
gave it away.
I think I've come to that point where I need to stop buying big box store hand tools. There's good hand tools in there. I'm not gonna say they're all bad, but I'm kind of to that next level. And some of the stuff that Eddie's saying here is gonna help me get to that. Like, don't buy the $50 guide. Maybe buy this one. So that's something that I'm gonna take the next step on. And with my hand tools, and stop buying those big box tools that I throw out because they're dull and I can't get them sharp again, or they break, or they don't work for what they should do. So that's kind of a neat thing. That's super appreciate all this info. I mean, this is really great stuff. Stuff I did not know, especially the sharpening stuff. It's been really nice. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. It's a process to get used to, and like I said, I'm learning, but I've already learned the way to not do it sometimes, and so this will kind of help you guys eliminate those problems that you have at the beginning. This is, I think I already pointed this. This is the pre-World War I hybrid. It's a 1992 hybrid plane. This was Josh's gift. I did a little cleanup on it. I sharpened it. I can show you guys really quickly how to set this guy up to use it. You can watch videos on YouTube once again. We'll tell you the same thing. Much more eloquently than I will, and probably a better job at it than I will. We've all heard of Mr. Paul Sellers. Really, the guy's amazing. Matt Esley Furniture is another one too, the young guy from England that made that pristine, beautiful workbench. I watched a lot of his videos recently, and a lot of the tips that I picked up are from him. So if you guys don't follow him and don't subscribe to his YouTube, next to Chris Parker, he's the best YouTuber out there in my opinion.
Speaking of Chris Parker, I said hand tools, not power tools. So yes, I will continue to buy my Rigid.
Team Rigid.
Team Rigid, you know.
Okay, so you have your blade, you have your chipper. You're going to set your chipper up just below the tip of your blade. I think you can see that. Yes, you can. All right, tighten that baby down. You can use that to tighten it, by the way. You don't need a screwdriver. Okay, so you get that set to where it needs to be. There's no reason to really take this thing all the way apart unless you're refurbishing it, so I'm not going to get into that. You set your blade in there nice and gently. It's going to go over your lateral adjustment. There's a pin that sticks out. You'll put that on there. Excuse me. That's embarrassing. Let's rewind and pretend I didn't just do that. Put that in backwards. There we go. It's going to work better that way. You'll lock this baby in. You want your blade to be drawn back within the base, the corrugated bottom. Right now it's not exposed, it's not straight, it's kind of crooked. And you're just going to go through a process of, once you'll put it up against a piece of wood, this guy here, it's not going to do anything because the blade isn't exposed on it. You're going to adjust the pitch of the blade, like I said, it's crooked. You're going to use that lateral adjustment lever, and that's how you get it straight. And little by little, like I was telling my buddy Alma, you're going to turn your knob here either counterclockwise or clockwise to push that blade out, bring it back in. And you're just going to take baby steps with it. So it's not going to shave anything. You're going to move it out a little bit, little by little. I'm going to look at it. It's pretty straight. And then once you start getting to the point where you're grabbing some wood, you're going to take some shavings. And this is poplar, so it's actually looking like it's a lot sharper than it really is.
I tried to set you up for success.
You did. Josh hooked me up, right? So, I mean, there you go. It's poplar, so it's going to shave pretty easy. But the blade is sharp. It's just not perfect. I took it to some oak last night and got it dirty for him before I gave it to him. But you're going to go ahead and you can flatten this thing in a matter of minutes. You'll start with something more like a number 5. This is more of a smoothing plane as a number 4. You'll start with a number 5 and you'll do the same exact process. You're going to take off more material on it. You'll get it to the point where if it's, you can use a jointer plane on this too. The bigger they are, the better they are for jointing, and that's by taking a crooked edge and making it flat or straight. It's basically the same exact thing, same angle to the sole. What it's going to do for you is going to give you a lot more surface area, left to right, and front to back. So you're going to cover more area. That's why it's a jointer, really. As far as my knowledge goes, that's all there is to it. But you'll use this guy too. It does the same exact thing. You're going to take something that's not flat or not straight, and you're going to make it flat or straight. You'll use number 5 after that to take off more material if you need to. You're going to use number 4 to make it nice and smooth. There's a different point to each and every single one of these. The block plane, I use block planes to clean stuff up. This is an antique that I picked up at the Craftsman. I don't use. I use a not very expensive Stanley block plane that I cannot keep sharp no matter what. I fight with this guy.
And there's a whole world of planes out there. I mean, you can see some people have collections of planes that do all kinds of different molding planes, router planes. I mean, there is a world of planes out there.
Yeah, some of our friends have quite the collection that they haven't posted on there yet that I've been sent pictures of. And I mean, there's beautiful machines that have so many more reasons or so many more uses. I don't even know what they are. I only know what they're called by Instagram, and by looking at pictures of them and reading details on them. Because I'm not an expert. I just know a little more than a few people because I've made a lot of mistakes. He hasn't even made the mistakes yet. Just hasn't
I don't
tried
have
it.
to. I have someone that'll do it for me.
One thing I'll cover too, when you're using your planes in Alma, I didn't mention this to you last night, I don't think, but this Johnson's Paste Wax, put this on the sole of your plane every time you're going to use it. It keeps it clean for one. Use it even when you're done using it. Put a little bit on there. It's going to keep it from rusting. But if you coat the bottom of your plane with this guy, it's going to smooth across that wood so easy. It's going to feel like you're not planing anything. If you don't put that on there, it's going to tend to grab a little bit. It's not going to work the way you want it to work. You have a harder time guiding it. And all it is cleaning wax. It cost me like $3 at Home Depot. It's going to last probably about 10 years, as big a can as it is.
So this is the stuff we put on our table saws and our things to keep everything kind of smooth. And so the same kind of wax you're using for that, you can use on the bottom of your plane here to keep everything running smooth.
Don't use beeswax. I don't know, somebody told me to use beeswax and it was a mistake. It does not lubricate the bottom of your plane. It actually makes it stickier. And once it heats up, it becomes like a glue. So don't make that mistake either. Beyond that, as far as planes go, chisels go, I got nothing. I did bring, some other handful of marking gauge. I'm horrible at using this because I always forget I have it. So I don't use it to mark much out. And this is a cheap Woodcraft version of it. Luke has some beautiful ones he actually had made with some ebony wood that he likes to make me jealous over. But you have one too. It's gorgeous. See?
This one, this is a hand-me-down. This is what I use.
And it probably works beautifully.
Yeah, works
But
pretty
just
well.
because it's new doesn't mean it's good,
Yeah.
right? Again, I mean, name brand. Wood River's not a bad brand, but you know, you think Lee Nielsen, you think Lee Valley, places like that sell you the high dollar stuff, and I have to imagine a lot of it doesn't make sense to buy those tools like their planers because the steel's better, the balance might be better. The antique Stanleys for me work fine, just not, you know, for now. We'll see what the future brings on November 3rd.
Is that a special date?
No, it's my
No.
son's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Also my niece's birthday.
All right.
My dad's neighbor's birthday, actually, as well.
That's good.
And a couple of my friends' birthdays. But,
That's cool.
you know, I got, like I said, I got some dovetail markers I brought, it's $6 on Amazon. I overpaid for this guy. And the reason I overpaid for it, it's got a nice name on it, Bob Kosman. He does some good stuff. One thing he does not do well is make a straight dovetail marker.
What is
You can't
that?
really tell until you look very, very closely, but that is not straight. So don't spend the $23 on that guy, unless you want your
I
dovetails
was
to
gonna
look like
say,
mine.
maybe if you don't, maybe you don't want straight dovetails. Are you guys see that?
No, it's kind of hard to see. I didn't
It
even
is
notice
very-
it until after the fact.
Very slight. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Probably not.
So everyone on the Illinois Workers of IG email list, can you mention that? Alma, do you want me to mention the account or the email list? Eddie's birthday is November 3rd. Do you want me to mention the Illinois Woodworkers of Instagram account? Is that what you're referring to? I'll make sure I do what you want me to do.
She's demanding.
I'm fine. It's fine.
She's like a pit
I'm good
bull,
with that.
man. You gotta be careful.
Yes, both. Do you know about an email list? The woodwork. Can you plug that? I'll do the account and we'll transition to the board. How's that? So you do the email account.
All right, so Alma, who is the queen of the Illinois IG Woodworkers Club, has started an email list for everybody involved in it that wanted to be on it. I'm not sure if anybody has seen that or everybody has seen that. But the benefit of that is if we have something we need to mention to one another, if there's some kind of business or information we want to spread to everybody, rather than Instagram or Facebook, because we're not all Facebook friends. I hate Facebook, I'm hardly on it. There's this email list that she made through Google Groups.
Oh yes. Okay.
So if you haven't given her your email yet, give it to her, she'll add you to that group, and then we can send each other emails, whether it's a blanket email or individual. It's a really easy way to get a hold of people if you don't want to give out your cell phone number. If you don't have the Facebook, if you don't live, you know, within a few minutes of somebody, then it's a really good thing to do. So keep that in mind. If she doesn't have her email yet and you're in Illinois and you want to be part of that group, DM her.
Yep.
Or I'll give you her cell phone number and her address. You can either text her, call her. She loves talking on the phone over and over again, or just drop by. Drop by anytime.
So Pink Soul Studios. That's who is our leader of the Illinois Woodworkers of Instagram. Which that brings us to our next segment. Are you an Illinois woodworker of Instagram and don't have your sticker on this board? Well, send me a direct message and we'll get that fixed for you. Get your sticker put on here.
You sound like a commercial.
I know I tried to. I did my best. So today's entry for the board comes from Cole Bailey of Grain Farm Woodworking. Look at that stamp. That's so cool. Did a good job there. And he was even smart enough to include this. So he took all of the guesswork and all of my legwork out of it. He said, put me here. So send me a message, Slumberyard Handcrafted. If you'd like your sticker put on here. We do accept neighbors. So if you're not from Illinois but you're from around. The reason we started doing this is we bring this sticker board to our meetups that we have for our little club. But it's not fair that not everyone from around the state or the area can't make those meetups. So send me your sticker, and I will add it during one of these lives, and we'll get you put on. So, Cole, here you go. You're getting added. And we'll cart this around to all of the meetups so everyone can see.
That's God's country down there.
There we go. Perfect. So if no one else has, if you don't have your sticker put on here yet, if you don't have a sticker, get one. There's a lot of companies out there doing it. I use Sticker Mule. There's a few others out there doing it. They're relatively inexpensive, but it's kind of a cool thing. We'll cart this around and show everybody off. We'll bring it to events and promote it. So thank you, Cole, for sending that in. Appreciate it. So we're kind of trailing down here. Does anybody have any questions for me or for Eddie here while I got him here? I got him on camera and live, so ask away. Opposite side of the state where you actually are, though.
I thought so.
So, any other questions? Anything? What else we got here, guys? Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to promote my giveaway now. That's what I'm going to do. Which you guys haven't seen because I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to give one of these away. You guys have seen me talk about it. It's going to happen. For those of you who tuned into the last live, I have your extra entries recorded. I'm thinking Friday. I'm going to post the giveaway on Friday. Ramp up for the week and give everybody something to look forward to. It's going to be the usual like, repost, tag your friends. This is a pretty sweet giveaway. I'm going to make you work for it. I'm also going to do, we will segue over to next week's episode. We'll call them episodes. I'm going to do something that I haven't seen anybody do yet. I'm not saying I created it or I thought of it. I'm going to do a live Stuff the Basket at Home Depot next week. So I'm going to walk in the door, go live, and have a basket in front of me. You guys get to tell me what goes in that basket. So it's not going to be anything big, anything crazy and wild. We're talking screws, nails, sandpaper, tape, glue. Tell me the things you guys want in a prize pack, and I'll hook that up. So it's kind of cool. We're going to do it that way. So there'll be a grand prize winner that'll get the nailer, and then there'll be a second prize runner-up that's going to get that prize pack. So next week, tune in, same time, 9 o'clock on Tuesday, Central. We're going to do that Stuff the Basket episode. So
Josh is going to stuff your basket.
Stuff the Basket from Home Depot is what I will be doing. And maybe I should, I should do, because, I'm so, maybe I'm not going to, maybe I'll walk around with this basket because I'm so team rigid. So maybe I'll walk around and fill this up. So that's what we're going to do.
Hey, Parker, you see that? The other thing a marking knife is good for is taking the plastic off of these. Because I don't know if I have like the strength of a 3-year-old, but I struggle with that. So if you drink iced tea, you can open it with it too.
With a marking knife?
Yeah.
That works. I don't think I've ever cut a dovetail in my life. Not once.
Should.
Not
It's
once.
character building.
Gonna make a mess and drop everything. Yeah, I'll make a mess. That's okay. So that's it. So next week I'll be at Home Depot. We're gonna stuff the basket and do some cool stuff. What do you guys want? Screws, nuts, bolts, stain? What are you guys thinking? I don't know. Not go crazy, but let's get some cool stuff in there. Is there something somebody wants that I can just go straight to it right when I get in the door?
And sandpaper is always a winner.
But what kind of sandpaper? Everyone's got their brand. It's like Pepsi and Coke. I mean, I'm a Diablo fan myself. I like all of their products, their blades, their sandpaper. I buy all of it, use all of it. I love it. I use the sandpaper like someone else is buying it. Love that stuff. But, other people have different brands that they like, and I will respect that. So, hot dogs. They do have the little cart. Does yours, Home Depot, have that?
Yeah.
Ours doesn't have that.
No? Rockford.
I know, Rockford. Don't appreciate it, though. They don't have it. Bessie, They do have those little clamp. Oh man, where was that little clamp at?
That's a good idea.
Oh god, I gotta find the. Hold on, I'm gonna go around. I found this clamp, and I wish I had bought so many more of them, but they were all clearanced out.
I think Chris just did a video covering that.
This little guy. I wish I could have got a bunch more of these because they were like $2 on the clearance rack. I don't know who told me this, but they said they were bringing them out of the stores, online only kind of thing. So they were getting rid of them. But I use this thing a lot. And I only have one. There was only one on the shelf. I would have bought a whole ton of them. But I do love this. It's really strong. So I wish I could have got more of those. It's pretty sweet.
I kept thinking that over time, being chummy with Chris Parker, you know, CP Builds, Mr. Famous YouTuber, that
So good at
maybe I'd get a free Bessie clamp at some point or another, but I bought all of my Bessie clamps. So, I mean, I guess we're just friends to be friends, but it didn't start out that way.
I have a pair of other Bessie clamps.
I posted all my Bessie clamps in a story the other day, and I tagged him and Bessie. I'm thinking maybe they'll throw him like $5 or something. Because when last time I saw him, he brought me a peach iced tea.
Nice.
Yeah, it was,
I thought peach was your thing. I grabbed a whole bunch, but I was like, he looks like a peach.
I look like a peach.
He looks like a peach. I'm gonna get him a peach. You don't want to see me in November. Team Jet Clamps. The hardwood store, one of the hardwood stores that I go to, has Jet equipment and the Jet clamps. They're really nice. The parallel bar clamp, those deals. I don't have any of those. I do want to get some. I don't know if I would go Jet or Bessie. I think I would lean Bessie. I have 3 Bessie clamps and I like them a lot. I don't have any Jet clamps.
I don't have any either. I know from what I've been told is that Jet clamps are better than Bessie. They just are, and there's no question about it. But I don't own any, so I don't know. But I can tell you I have some Irwin parallels. I have, Harbor Freight, which are garbage. And I have Bessie, and I have some other ones. Bessie, to me, is a standout as far as being the best.
Team Harbor Freight nailers. Team Harbor Freight nailers.
I have one.
What was that? No, it was the sprayers. Team Harbor Freight sprayers. Who was that when the big battle Fuji Graco that was going down, and someone chimed in with Team Harbor Freight sprayers? That was awesome. I don't know who did that. That was a lot of fun.
I'm assuming they were run too. I had a conversation the other day. You can't even buy sandpaper from Harbor Freight because it doesn't work. That's how bad their shit is.
They have some good stuff, like stuff. I mean, I bought Harbor Freight tools. I mean, a lot of people have. I think it just depends. It's just that you gotta kind of pick and choose the things you're gonna get. The sprayers I've heard work really well, but they're almost disposable. Like after the first time you use them, you cannot use them again. But I heard they work at least the first time, and that's kind of appealing to some people that are like, well, I'll pay $12 for a sprayer that I'm gonna use maybe a couple times, and maybe that's appealing to some people.
You probably feel about their sprayers the way that I feel about Rigid tools. They're disposable.
No,
Rigid doesn't make a hand planer or chisels. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's
I'm fine. I'm okay. That was the thing I plugged. We're gonna chat for a minute, you guys. That was the thing I plugged about Craig. I think Craig jigs get a bad rap.
Do they?
I think so. I think a lot of people hate on Craig jigs for some reason.
You
I don't know
the
why.
Devil's joinery? Like I call it the Devil's joinery.
Yeah. I think pocket holes and the Craig jig have a place in modern woodworking.
They do. And like I said, it's not my thing. It's not something I enjoy doing, but there's definitely a place for it. Just like I got called out a few months ago by calling the Domino the Devil's Joinery. I was put on blast by my friends to somebody that works at Festhole. Wasn't even the slightest bit embarrassing. But there's a place for all of it. I mean, there's a place for hand tools for a craftsman that has the time and wants to do that. There's a place for the Festhole Domino. If you have the money, it saves you a lot of time doing something to make it more accurate and beautiful. I mean, I used a Alma's track saw the other day. It blew my mind.
The Festhole?
Yeah, it was great. So I mean, there's a time and place for everything. The Craig jig, the cabinet I started building the other day, I got it almost finished in 4 or 5 work hours. So if I did hand tools, that would take me 4 or 5 weeks. So there's a place for everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is the placement of the pocket holes, the amount of pocket holes. I think you should back up pocket holes with glue in a lot of instances. I think you can help yourself if you're going to use the Kreg. Use it wisely, use it in proper applications. It's not for every joint, it's not for every application, but I think it can truly shine in a lot of places. Same thing with the domino system. I think, I want to get one. I will get one someday. There's something appealing about that. But it's not for everyone. I don't think it's for every application. In a lot of studies, this is backed up. It is actually weaker than the Kreg system in some ways.
There's no thread.
Yeah, so there's, and actually we add glue to it, and that changes a lot of stuff too. So, I like Kreg. It's kind of, I don't know why I feel like I'm on this mission to prove Kreg deserves a place in the modern woodworking shop, but it's just, I see him getting a bad rap, people talking about it, and no one ever posts about it really, but you just hear like people talk about it.
And things.
Yeah, and I'm like, I like Kreg. I think especially the HD. Have you seen the HDs?
You did
oh my god, they're so nice. They're 50% stronger. They look like lag bolts. They're huge.
Yeah, it's gigantic machine.
Lag screws. They're crazy.
I think Craig's a great company. Their customer service is outstanding.
And they're built in Iowa, aren't they? The factory's out in Iowa.
Are they?
Yeah.
Chris,
are they out in Iowa? Do you know that?
He's the Iowa expert.
I truly wish I had the domino for the tree bookshelf I recently did.
Your friend that lives down the road from you has one, Lukey.
Make sure I'm not mixed. Yeah, they are out in Iowa. I use the Foreman for face. Oh, the Foreman would be so nice.
Who has the Foreman?
It's the Exotic Wood Crate. I know a few other people. I see a few other people use them. And I think with the Foreman, you can actually insert the HD system into that as well. So you can actually go HD into that, which is kind of cool. I didn't think it would do that. But that adds, take Kreg and make it faster. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You just, it's, I don't know what price it is. It's a little expensive. It's got a little price behind it.
It's over $300.
So it's got a little price to it, but it depends on if you're using it a lot. If you're a DIYer and you get a lot of home projects, I would buy one totally. It's pretty sweet. Let's see here. I got a couple. Oh, the pocket holes. $3.99. World largest truck shop, also in Iowa. Actually, pretty cool. Good buffet. Is that the it's on 80.
Yeah, I've driven past it a few times.
Yeah, I've driven past that too. That thing is huge. They have it's like a mall. The Foreman is heaven. Grit and Grain TX. My bench has HD screws. I use HD a lot. So anybody got any other questions? We kind of went on a ramble there. That was fun though. That was a lot of fun. Any other questions about anything? I'm trying to think of anything else.
Luke, are you still on?
I see him on there.
Little Norse. My little buddy, Little Norse. Would you like to correct anything that I said tonight? Because of everybody that I see watching, you probably have quite a bit more knowledge than I do. So if I misspoke, I will not take it personally. Sí. Bueno. Por favor. Dígame.
What are your most recent builds? My most recent builds, like ones I've completed, I got some stuff done the last 2 weeks. It's been kind of a busy run for me. It's been really, really good. I got the sideboard, new doors put on the sideboard with a little buffet. Customer asked for new doors, so I got that put on. That was a lot of fun. Big, thick 3x12 barnwood on top. It's gonna serve their family for a lot of years. 4 drawers, doors, and everything. I did that steam bend trim. The steam bending, that went really well. It was slow, but it went really well. Would you guys be interested to see how I did that steam bent trim?
Yes.
Would you guys want to see? I'll do a live about that. We'll do that. I'll put some stuff in the steamer, and I'll have some stuff steaming before we go live, and then we'll pull it out of the steamer and we'll bend it and we'll do some stuff. Talk about it. I'm not an expert about steam bending, but there's a few accounts out there on Instagram that I do try to find best practices for. Try to do what they do. And it worked really well. They install it took about 2 days to do it, 2 Saturdays, but it went well. Then the mantle got put up. That was a lot of fun. We actually had to cut the mantle out for the rock face of the fireplace. So that was fun, putting this mantle up, marking, measuring, bringing it down, cutting it, doing all this stuff. Took us about 3 runs before we actually got it perfect. So it was sitting as far flat as it would against the fireplace there. That was a lot of fun. Recent builds, what other I got? That's about it. I don't know what else I got done lately. Those are kind of the big ones as far as recent builds go. Things I have in the pipeline, I have to rebuild my kitchen table and my desk because I sold them at the last market. So this is my inventory storage plan because I don't have a shop big enough for inventory. I have nowhere to put inventory. So the things that I build for markets we actually use in my house. So kitchen table, the desk. So when I sell them, I don't have anything to come home and eat dinner on. So I've got to rebuild those, so that's on my list as well.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, it was nice. That last market was pretty good. You were there. I saw you there. It was a lot of fun.
I saw your stuff flying off the shop.
Oh man, those cutting boards though. I want to collaborate with you. I have a project in mind with your cutting boards.
Let's do it.
We'll talk after this live, but I got a good idea. I think it would be pretty cool to collaborate. I haven't collaborated with anybody for a project, so I think you're gonna be the first one.
Right on.
Down for that. So
I'm kind of, we'll do that. I have 2 boards or so that I have to finish up, but I'm actually pretty burnt out on them. I think I've done most of the different cutting boards you can do, or that I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start focusing more on some smaller furniture, probably live edge stuff, things that I really enjoy doing. Obviously practicing the hand tools even more, but not that it's a bad thing to do cutting boards. I think it's pretty awesome when you find something that you're great at, like the Timbered Wolf Christine is out of this world. I mean, his stuff's unbelievable. I promote it nonstop because I own one that's that good, and he kind of taught me how to do them. But I want to do different stuff too. Maybe rustic tables, maybe live edge tables, maybe the dovetail practice for the next 5 years. Who knows? But something different. But yeah, let's collab.
yeah,
I'll finish the ones I have too.
Yeah, I got some projects. At least one project in mind that I'm like, you're the guy that I would like to work with on this because I think, with our powers combined, we come up with something pretty cool.
I think we should.
So I'm kind of excited for that. Cutting boards are the bread and butter. Yeah, I think cutting boards. It's like you gotta master those, and I have not done. I do flat grain boards, mostly serving boards, because when you start chopping up flat grain, it looks ugly, and it doesn't respond well to getting cut up like the end grain boards do. They don't last as long. They look terrible. I don't think I've ever done an end grain cutting board. So that's something I think I'd like to challenge myself with. Maybe this winter when I don't want to be having these sprawling projects that are taking up everything and it's cold. I think that's something I'm going to try to do is an end grain cutting board. So I'll probably reach out to you for some help when I start going down that road.
My pleasure. I mean, I messed up quite a few learning how to do it. I did have, like I said, Timberwolf. We're friends, in real life too. If I had a question or I was messing something up, I'd text him or, I'd call him, and he was never hesitant to help out. And he does it for a living too, so I didn't blow up his phone constantly. I would make a mistake, and then I'd probably make it again and then ask him, hey, what did I do wrong there? So that's pretty cool. But end grains process, it's fun, it's dirty.
Yeah.
But it's different, not everybody does them, so it's cool.
I'm down for that. I'm down for a challenge like that. All right, so I think we're gonna put a cap on this night. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to Eddie. I really appreciate you coming out and bringing your spread. Thank you for the birthday present. I really appreciate that. Illinois Woodworkers of Instagram. Make sure you are following that account. Get your sticker on the board if you don't already have it. Send me a DM. I'll get your sticker put on there on one of the lives here. So guys, thank you so much. Next week we're gonna be live at the Home Depot. We're going to stuff the basket with some cool giveaway stuff. So
It's going to stuff your basket.
Stuff the basket. Friday, the giveaway announcement. So be looking out for that. Thank you, guys. Bye.